listening to the Energy is Love podcast.
Deep breath.
Exhale.
Open the can on air, just like a professional.
I'm excited to taste that.
This is my first.
Take another drink without the toothpick. You've got
Okay.
a toothpick. That's not an actual, that was a contaminated
Hold on,
taste.
I didn't realize that I was having a first, so I gotta get some shit squared away first. Okay. If you're only listening, we're
Cleanse
drinking
the palate.
We're drinking LaCroix. So we're fans of LaCroix, and we have the new flavor. It's not the new flavor. It's new to us. It's brand new. We just found it today.
We've heard a lot about it.
Right?
I can smell the coconut.
Can you smell what the coconut is cooking?
I can.
Okay, hold on. Palate cleanse with some fresh water.
Good cleanse.
Okay.
Just because you had a toothpick.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Get busy.
First taste. Second draft, first taste. Are you going to give it a shot?
I want to hear you. Yes. Okay. I guess we can.
Yeah, you got to give it a shot.
Let's do it.
Let that coconut cross your lips.
Smells good. Oh, yes. I like that.
Ooh, do you?
Do you not?
Are you a fan of it?
I'm a fan of that.
Nice.
Is it now mine?
No, I'm going to finish it because I wanted a little bubbly.
You're not going to have him buy him again, though? Or you don't
Probably
like
not.
Yeah?
It tastes like chapstick.
I'm so glad you had, first of all, that's what I like about my chapstick.
Good.
But I'm glad you took a drink before I did because I was thinking, oh, I got chapstick on it. And you're like, I don't like it. It tastes like chapstick.
You got chapstick on it?
No, I just did now, but you had your drinks before I did.
Ah, I see.
So it wasn't my fault.
We started this episode on a silliness. That's
Yeah,
a
we
shocker, right? That's a new
My face itches.
that's a new one for the podcast.
Silly.
But obviously we have a big change. This is the first episode with the exception of last week's episode.
This is the second.
This is the second episode.
Second episode with.
But hold
what
on.
I think it is? Okay.
Yeah, it's our new backdrop. It's our new temporary backdrop. Mm-hmm. So we did have an episode last week, but it was a virtual episode. So it's up and everything. You can go watch it. It's with Eric Milosevic, which we could spend an entire episode talking about that episode.
This whole podcast could be about how impactful that podcast was.
It was massive.
So.
Massive. And I mean, truthfully, it was massive for me. I know other people are going to benefit from it. I know other people are going to listen. Sorry, I had to make sure the camera was working. I can see the red light flashing, and you would think that would be enough of a giveaway, but no,
yes.
I needed to check further.
Smoke in the air.
It was an impactful, powerful episode for me. Do you know what I mean? It's huge. It was healing.
It was. I love that about that.
Yeah.
It's my favorite episode.
I got to put some,
If you haven't listened yet, stop this, go listen, then come back.
just like peace. It brought me peace inside. And I didn't even realize that I had some of that turmoil still in me. You know?
Wow.
It's been 7 years since I got fired from being a police officer.
Has it been 7 years?
Yeah, babe, it was 2015. We got married and then Craig was no longer a cop. How fucking awesome is that?
I'm so glad you say how awesome is that.
No, think about the beauty of it. Think about what we were talking about earlier today, right? So Stephanie and I got married in 2015. If this is the very first podcast that you've ever listened to of us, hi, I'm Craig. That's Stephanie. We're the hosts of this said podcast. I forgot. This is our new temporary backdrop.
The old one's right there.
Are we 5 minutes in?
We're 5 minutes in.
And
You're doing good.
literally all over the place.
Do you know where you were going?
I know. I've got 6 things actually that are going in the fire right now.
Okay.
The first one,
Yes.
our new backdrop.
Boom. You already
It's
said
temporary. We love this piece. We've had this piece for a very long time, but we want to see your work. So if you are an artist in any shape or form and you have the ability, we do want a tapestry-like thing, right? Something that we can hang behind as a backdrop. But if you have the ability to create that, whatever your art is, whether you are digitally creating it, digital art, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
You kind of know that if you're a fan of our podcast, you kind of feel us and you know what we're all about. And you can even do it of our logo if you wanted if you want to create our logo out of your design and your art and bring your flair to it, That would be incredible. So the idea is that what we're going to do is start showcasing and highlighting people's artwork as our backdrops. And each month, ideally, what we'll do is we'll have a new one. And then at the end of the month, you can enter into a little contest to win it. Mm-hmm. And so we'll be highlighting these artists and their work and all this beautiful stuff as our backdrop. And then on top of it, you get a listen and you get to win. How cool would that be?
I think it's very cool.
So we want to highlight your stuff. This is our new temporary backdrop in the meantime, where we put all of this into the works of the universe.
I do have to say like one little caveat to that though.
Okay.
If there's an artist out there that creates our logo and is like, that's like their contribution, I think
we might need to keep that one.
That one will be a keep. And that'll be like one that we rotate like out. So,
I see.
because that would make me cry.
That would be awesome.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
They're like, this is like how I envision you.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
that would be awesome.
that's so awesome. Who knows? That might still be a really cool giveaway because not only do they get that, I don't know. We'll have to play it by ear.
Anyways, that's the plan. Hit us up. It's super easy. You can go to the website, energyislovepodcast.com. Contact us there or through any of the other 100 millions of ways to contact and reach people. So that was rabbit hole number 1.
Done.
Rabbit hole number 2.
Check.
What was rabbit hole number 2?
You never told me. I don't have a clue.
Yeah, but we got distracted by this and you went off somewhere else.
You were talking about Eric's episode.
Yes,
and
that's
how
bunny hole number 2.
Yeah.
Bunny hole. Baby,
What?
can I call your
You want to call it a
vulva
bunny hole?
your bunny hole? Oh my God. Okay, write that down. We got rabbit hole number
Write
6.
bunny hole?
Right there. Just put bunny hole because I got thoughts on that.
Okay, is it?
This is all seriousness.
Okay.
That episode with Eric healed, like I said, parts of me that I didn't realize I still had. Do you know what I mean? All the law enforcement stuff that I went through, law enforcement stuff, it's like the nicest, politest way to, all the trauma that I endured during my time as a police officer, right? Literally, that's what it is, right? As a police officer, and 99% of all police officers who spend any amount of time policing, they just go ahead and endure a whole bunch of trauma.
Yeah.
And then have to carry it throughout their entire career. Or not, right? There's a couple people that have figured out how not to do it.
Yeah.
Anyways, I thought I had processed the majority of it.
Yeah.
I could still feel it pop up every now and then. But I'm definitely at peace with it.
Yeah.
That took a few years, right? How long do you think?
It took a long time. I think what was different about this one is you'd been processing this, but you've essentially been processing it on your own.
Yeah.
Because even cops that you know aren't showing this kind of heart. And you had all of this heart and the way that this was so traumatizing to see these things happen to these people and the scary situations and how many times your heart was broke. Nobody's talking about that.
Yeah.
So this was the first time that you had somebody say, this was crushing and this is what I would do. Somebody that could meet you there. So yes, you've processed all this, but you hadn't had anybody, like, how shitty is that? Nobody was able to show you the heart. You were the only one that was willing to let your heart be in that space until you had to talk to Eric.
I can almost guarantee, no, it wouldn't have been 2015. It may have been. I'm trying to think when the photo was taken of him, right? The photo that I saw. You have to listen to the episode. I was thinking that he probably retired in 2015.
Yeah?
I think so. I'd have to ask him. Eric, if you're listening, I would love to know what year you retired.
And I also want to know.
You think 2017?
Let's see. Who's right?
Okay. That rabbit hole took us to the significance of...
Rabbit hole or bunny hole? Which one do you like?
Bunny hole now has a role in our relationship. So it can no longer be used in reference to the rabbit holes that we get lost in.
The bunny hole special.
It's gonna be. Meaning once I get done with it. That sounded terrible too.
Yeah.
Okay. I have just clearly shown all...
I am feeling so confident right now. Careful.
Shit.
I'm about to start singing. I'm on top of the world. Jesus.
Your bunny hole's gonna
It's
be
okay.
special.
I'll be talking to myself in the mirror later. It's like, you're beautiful. You are worthy. It's okay. I'm not even fucking kidding. I do that.
That's good that you do that.
It is good. Everybody should be doing that. I have to.
I got fired the same year we got married.
Yes.
That's like
I'm aware.
supposed to happen. That's,
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
how it was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Because you realize what happened when we got married.
Your whole life changed.
I think in that
whole
moment,
life changed.
yes, our whole life changed.
Okay, you better give me a compliment now, because now you've referred to my pussy as just like nothing, and you're like, yeah, the whole life changed.
I don't know why
Rolling
you
your
think
eyes.
it's your pussy.
Oh.
Okay,
They're both special.
baby.
And I don't know why you think you can just have full leg. What do you mean? Is the bunny the butt?
We're gonna save the bunny hole.
Is it the butthole?
for next
Is
week's
the bunny
episode?
hole the butthole? Oh,
Bring that sweet bunny hole over
hold
here.
on. We're crossing this off the list now. No bunny hole for Craig.
What are you talking about? It's
I wrote
perfect.
bunny hole for Craig, and now it's
No,
take it. It's my list. It's my bunny hole. So,
I like it.
yeah.
Right?
I don't know. Do you?
Come here.
No.
Come here. Show me your bunny hole. We got married in 2015.
Feast your eyes, yes.
And the universe, like, it would be one thing if we got married when we did in April and then I got fired like in December.
Okay.
That's not what happened at all.
No, I remember.
You remember.
I do
And we've
remember.
talked about it on the podcast.
Well, it
but
wasn't
it's like-
it's when everything happened, because we got home and then.
But I never went back to work after we got married.
That's
as
correct.
a police as a police
As
officer.
of like out on the street.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we got married and immediately that changed. From day one. It was like, guess what, Craig? You're no longer a cop. Yeah. You said, yes, Stephanie, I'm going to be with you forever.
So
and then the
this is gonna
universe said,
change.
stamp, Craig, you're no longer a cop. I'm like, what? Hold on a minute. What do you mean?
I used to feel so bad for that.
I have never seen the beautiful significance
I haven't either.
of, I mean, like I said, it would be one thing and it would be something kind of silly and we would laugh and joke and, you know, if it was spread apart, but the fact that it was
Boom.
Yeah. Just to be clear, if it's not clear, because obviously there's a bunch in this episode that's not clear. The incident that led to me getting fired happened in February or March, or I don't even know when it was. It happened months earlier, and it took weeks before everything. Eventually, somebody came and complained and filed a complaint on me at the police department. I was unaware of that, and all of that took place right as I basically took off for the wedding. So last day at work was a Saturday because we were getting married on a Monday or something like that.
I think it was a Tuesday.
Whatever.
You are worthy, Stephanie. You are worthy.
I'm trying to get through this story.
You can do it.
And then that was it.
Yeah.
What happened after I got back from our honeymoon and planned on going back to work like normal, I showed up and they're like, you gotta go back home. You are now on administrative leave and you can no longer be on the road as a police officer. So I never did any more police work after that.
Yeah.
That's such a significant, that's so significant for us, I think. At least for me, it's confirmation, like more. It's not that I need more confirmation, but it sure is fucking nice.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I told Steph this thing the other day. We were, I think it's when we were taking Asher to school. That drive, every morning, we take this 15-year-old, beautiful, amazing son of ours. He is actually really beautiful and amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I realized that when I talk about Asher, I just realized this, that when I talk about Asher in public, anytime hey, where's Asher? How come you, like a lot of times guys will ask about him at class. And I'll always spin it in a sense of like, those fucking lazy teenagers or this, da, 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 da. It always has this negative spin, even though it's not terribly negative, but it's under like do you know what I mean? It's kind of it's shitty is what it is. So I'm going to change that because he's amazing. I wouldn't be the man that I am today without him. So our amazing, beautiful 15-year-old son, we take him to school every morning. And that's a fun little 10-minute trip for us. But when we do it most of the time, the two of you are kind of interacting, engaging, and I'm driving. But obviously it's a drive that we've made 1,000 times, so there's not much thought to it. And my mind wanders, but not in a daydreamy way, because I oftentimes get good stuff in that short little drive. I'll think of something on our way down to drop him off, and then on the way back I'll share it with you and I'll tell you about it. And that happens a lot. So there's something special about that little drive of ours. The other day on one of those drives, we've talked, I'm going to stop saying that we've talked about this on the podcast. No shit. We had almost 300
There's
episodes.
Evidence.
Right? Of course we're going to repeat ourselves. I have no fucking idea what episode 176 was about. I don't know if we had a guest on that episode. I don't know anything about that episode. Even if you told me the title, I wouldn't fucking remember it was on that episode.
Yeah.
We probably had this exact same episode on that episode. So, synchronicity.
Yes.
This awareness happened for me when we first learned about kind of that concept and idea that things will line up and you'll get kind of this aha moment of this synchronicity. And, you see the 333 on the clock, you stop at the stop sign and the car in front of you has 333 on their license plate, and all these little synchronicities that can kind of take place over the course of our life. I thought of those in the context of same day and maybe same week. Like, it was really hard for me to even imagine that it could have been like same month synchronicity, right? On January 1st, something happens, and then on January 31st, I have the connection and I see the synchronicity of it. I couldn't imagine that happening because I can't remember that far.
Right.
Right? Today is January something, and I'm like, what's 2 weeks ago? Let me look at the calendar. Hold on.
Right.
Give me the calendar. I got to figure out what were we doing on that day. So that's what my mind thought, that the capacity of synchronicity to show up, and not only show up, but affect your life, was in that scope. And then on the drive down to the school, I had awareness of how much, because in a lot lately, I'm seeing the correlating connect, like this one that we just had earlier about me ending law enforcement. Not when I actually was, fired 3 months later and, my gun and badge and all that nonsense. Not then, but I was done being a cop on our anniversary, on the day that we got married.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? That was my,
I didn't.
that was my last day as a police officer. And that's beautiful, because I had a lot more important things to do. Not that being a police officer isn't important. Synchronicity. I've realized that the scope with which those things will occur is within the same scope of the universe. That there isn't a limit on the correlating, connecting, relevant, important, synchronistic events in your life. It can be a week, it can be a day, it can be tomorrow, or it can be 15, 20, 30, 40,000 years ago. And it's cool. That made me really happy.
That's very cool.
Yeah. Baby, I am a rambling man on this episode.
I'm thinking like we're going to set off the smoke alarm. There's so much smoke just hanging
You
in
thought
there.
that last time and it didn't go off.
That.
Maybe we ought to check
But
the batteries on that smoke alarm.
Right? It's not showing a green light.
Yeah. Hey, rabbit hole.
Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, never mind.
No, please.
No, I was going to like continue like the smoke's all the way down. It wasn't all the way down. So you know how it starts, smoke rises
Yeah.
and then pushes. So now it's right here.
It's incense, though. It's not smoke.
Well, it is smoke, but yes, incense. So we're cleansing.
Yeah. What does the synchronicity awareness that Craig had mean to you? Do you connect with it?
I do connect with it, and it gives me a different perspective because I hadn't seen that, and it was always like, you're gonna think I'm bad luck, because I knew that it was like as soon as we got back, you got that news, and I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna think
He's gonna take it as a sign.
It's a sign that we shouldn't be married. But like the way you just described it, I hadn't had that awareness before.
Right now.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I like that feeling. That's beautiful. That makes me, I was like, oh, that's
a yummy bunny hole. It's true though.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? The beautiful, it's beautiful.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You've ran our chart for that day, haven't you?
Yes.
Have you talked to me about it?
A little bit.
Okay.
Don't ask me to remember
Because
I can't right now.
It was a while ago.
It was.
You know, we've just talked about our ability to remember is about 3 days.
Right.
How funny is that? I bet you there's
I know
some
we
science
had
to it.
a grand trine in it. And so that was like, there was a triangle with the planets that were being supported.
Oh, that's right.
So our chart was like, and there was a lot of blue. So they're positive.
Yeah.
So it was good. There's some red. There's definitely some like, oh, you guys are going to have some
There's going to be some blood.
struggles.
There's going to be some blood.
So there's some oppositions as well as supporting. Anyways, but yeah.
I know that I feel like you had something at the beginning of the episode as well, and I just ran right over it with my rambling.
Well, if you did, it's gone.
Okay.
It's okay. I'm trying to figure out if we went over all your bunny holes.
I think so.
Because you said 6, but then I think you like had some new awareness that was like 7 or 8.
I think we
bunny
got
holes.
through them all.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now on to the actual topic of this episode. We actually had a plan for this
We
one,
did.
and it's...
Oh, is it not going to happen? Okay.
No, what?
I'm looking for another...
No,
You're confusing me.
I'm confused.
So,
No, we
so
have
much
a plan.
for the clear.
Right? Stephanie and I, as of late, let's just say in the recent span of history, we have... Do you know what's so funny,
something.
Steph?
What's that?
So much of what's happening for us right now, it's like we're having this beautiful expansion within our life, right? And we are seeing things clearer, I think, than we've ever seen them before.
I think so too.
And some of that clarity is confirmation for things that I have thought over the course of my life. Do you know what I mean? Did that make sense?
I think so.
So, like this concept that we're talking about now, clear communication, right? Just that phrase, clear communication. That's something that I know it's important, right? I have been, back in the day in high school, I used to tell people that the 2 most important things to a healthy relationship were trust and communication. And I built that like as a foundation that I thought was pillars to a healthy relationship, right? Fast forward a few years. Let's just skip 20 and come to where I'm at today. And what I'm saying right now is that clear communication is massively important. And I thought we were doing a really good job of it. And suddenly we have massive awareness of how much we were not communicating clearly.
Yeah.
What was your thought?
I still think we did, like, we weren't communicating clearly, but we were communicating often, thoroughly, and connected. So, yes, thank you. We weren't, but I was like kind of hurt by that for a moment. And so I was like, we have been communicating, but then that clearly, that allows that real deep understanding because you're not making the other person guess.
Yeah. I mean, we've gotten to this place through the process of, I think, honing and clearing out our communication. You can finish it. I gave it to you. It tastes like fucking hand soap. So you got a 6-pack of those downstairs waiting for you.
These are so good.
Of course we communicate well, right? We have a podcast where we talk incessantly. But it's gotten so much better.
Yes.
I think the metaphor I used, Craig and his metaphors.
I do.
I should write a book of my metaphors.
Yeah.
That's going on the list.
Do it.
How many books am I writing now?
Baby.
Quite a few.
Craigisms.
Books of your metaphors.
Craigisms.
Craigisms. We'll work on the name later.
I can't get better than that.
The metaphor in regards to our communication is it's just we've gotten this window so clean because we've been working on it for so long. And finally, it's to the point where we can actually see through it.
Yeah.
And we realize, we have so much clarity that we could be bringing to our communication. And so that's what we've been working on.
Yes.
Really speaking clearly to each other. Our wants, our needs, what we're feeling. Like oftentimes, I think for me, the clear communication has been what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And just doing the best that I can to speak that clearly to you from a real honest place. How are you? I'm good. No, like seriously, how are you? Whew, yeah, let me take a deep breath to show you that I value what you just said. And then I'm going to say, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, it's doing okay. I'm good. How many times do we do that? And then we move on.
Yep.
And the reality is it's like, I'm not good right now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that clarity that we're bringing to that, and we're going to be talking about this a lot on the podcast. I don't feel like we're doing it justice quite.
You can't have it in a little blip, let alone a whole podcast. So
right.
You're doing a great job.
Okay. Thanks, baby. What was I saying?
The clear communication.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to giggle.
But you did.
I did.
I want to speak to what I believe it is doing for me.
Okay.
As well as for us.
Okay.
And then if you'd like, you can share the same.
Okay.
For me, being able to both speak clearly to you as well as hear you speak clearly to me, it immediately, I can actually describe. Saying I can't describe something isn't true. There is nothing that I can't describe. I can describe everything. I'm very descriptive. What it feels like is an immediate release inside of me. Mm-hmm. Suddenly, I can breathe. But it's palpable, the feeling that overcomes me when I have the recognition, because it's not like I start talking to you and I go in it. I sometimes I do, but not always. It's not like I start talking to you with the mindset of I'm going to speak with clear communication, right? Oftentimes it's talking, talk. And now I'm in this space and I have awareness that I'm expressing to you exactly how I feel. I'm not hiding any aspect of it. I'm not trying to make it more than it is or less than it is, or I'm not trying to minimize my experience. I'm speaking clearly to you how I'm feeling. And even when I have that awareness that I'm doing it, and then sometimes I'll have that awareness that you're doing it, it doesn't matter. But when that awareness hits is when I get that immediate release. And it just softens everything. You know, we may be talking about something incredibly hard, but that release comes and it immediately got a little bit easier, a little bit safer. And the more that we've been doing that, the safer I feel there. So it's just this beautiful snowball effect of clear communication, feel safer. Safer you feel, the clearer you can communicate. More clear communication, great. Now I feel safer. What does safer do? It leads to more and easier and clearer communication between each other. Fucking beautiful. Right? Sign me up. So that's what it feels like for me. And I kind of wrapped it up into that's kind of what I think it's doing for us as well.
Yeah. I can't say it any better than that. There's... I recognize that so much. Another thing that I've recognized, you know, because like, you know, when you have awareness when you're not communicating effectively or clearly. And it's like, there's that confusion that's happening because it's not being understood. There's all that. So I get nervous. Like right now.
I have a really cool thing, but I don't want to interrupt you.
I just got nervous. It's okay.
Yeah.
So you have the awareness. You're like, fuck, you know, that's stressing. Oh, why'd you say that? That's, you know, it's coming out wrong. He doesn't understand what I'm saying. So that narrative, do you get that when it's not a clear communication and we don't really know what the other person's we're trying to be around?
Yes.
I notice now, because it's when I have the same thing. It's like when I have the awareness that I just surprise myself. Sometimes it is a reset, right. And it's sometimes like I just notice it's already happening.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's conscious and like shift up what you're doing right now, and then other times I get to find myself there and I'm like, that's awesome.
Right.
But that's the narrative that I then get when I notice I'm doing it or you're doing it, which will, as soon as I notice it with you, it also makes me like do a quick like check on myself. Like, am I clearly communicating? It just like kind of brings me in the moment a little bit more. Yeah.
Right. When you see the other person doing it, you're like, oh shit, I gotta up my game.
Yeah.
Am I at this level?
That's like a here if you're not, right?
Exactly.
But one of the things that I'm noticing is that narrative is like when I catch either of us in that space, like, or both of us, when I realize we are just doing it, it's like that narrative celebrates that, it acknowledges it. So instead of being a detrimental, it's a positive one. It's like, good job. Like, I'm proud. Like, it just has that little bit of a different tape, you know, a different voice, a different narrative.
Yeah.
Or narrator.
Yeah.
You get that too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
It's so cool. Yeah. I'm really digging it.
Yeah. I don't think I noticed it till you were doing your will of like, clear communication creates trust. Trust creates clear communication, which is hard to say right now. But when you were like doing that will, I'm like, oh, I just realized like there's a celebration to a point that I had that narrative change because I hadn't noticed till this moment.
Yeah.
But it's been there.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
It's very, very cool. What do you think has led? I mean, this is going to be an incredibly unanswerable question.
Oh, good.
But I'm going to go
really
ahead
good
and
at those.
ask it anyways.
Okay.
What would you say is the biggest thing that has influenced our ability to clearly communicate with one another? You and me.
All right. Just to clarify.
Hold on. Steph and Craig.
I think it's our ability to see clearer ourselves. So all of the things that we're doing, all of the self-help and self-love and all the things that we're doing for ourselves, it's allowing us to see clearer is the cultivator. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I don't mean to like downplay that. I'm like, that's what I think. I was almost like waiting for you to tell me it was okay. Like, it's just my opinion. I was like, hey, what is that? Stop.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, what that makes me think of what vision you brought to my mind, Stephanie, was that we just have turned on more lights.
Yeah.
There used to be so much shadow and darkness in our life, in our relationship, but more importantly, that internal within each other, like, your stuff and my stuff, and the shadow of who we are. You and I came to this relationship with a lot of shadow. And then what we've been doing is just going around turning on lights. And now we can see more. So when you can see more, you can say more about what you're seeing, right? If you're like, hey, what's in your upstairs bedroom? I'm like, I don't have an upstairs house. What are you talking about? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But once you start to see, oh, I have an upstairs? Shit, show me. And then I go upstairs. I got 3 bedrooms up here. What's in those bedrooms? Oh, fucking hell, let's go back downstairs. And then you forget about them. You don't want to look at them. But you and I have gone through the process of turning on some lights. I'm grateful.
Me too.
Yeah. Big fan. I think that there's also like, I wonder if God, I wish our wedding ceremony had been recorded.
Right?
Yeah. We should have had somebody record that. Fuck. If only we would have had this GoPro.
Right?
If I could stick that thing right on my head. Okay. What I was trying to say is one of the things that I think has contributed to our clear communication is our willingness to take risks. And I think that it kind of goes back to whether it was a conscious agreement or probably a little bit of conscious, subconscious agreement between you and me. I think you and I agreed that we were going to allow the space for each of us to fail. Because I think about all the risks that we've taken in our relationship, the times that it's kind of like, and they kind of seem like train wrecks if we look at them close, but there's that beautiful side of pushing and risking and challenging because we felt that we could, right? I think that's an important thing to make an agreement of, like, it's okay to fail in this relationship. It's okay to mess up. There's no, even if it's going, even if it causes pain, even all those different things, that's okay. That's what it feels like for me. Somehow you managed to make me feel like it was okay. So I'm grateful for that. All of these things are important for clear communication.
Very.
What else did you have? I know I had something else in regards to that, the clear communication thing.
We have a few things, but I don't know.
But I wrote it down with...
You wrote yours down?
The importance of clear... Oh, yeah. In conjunction with the clear communication, it's truth.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All those little white lies.
Yeah.
All those little things that you don't say. We practice not saying the things that we don't want to say with our emotions, because those are really easy to not speak. And those are really easy to, hide. But then there's all these other little things that are harder to hide, but we're still ashamed of them. So we tell little white lies to hide those things.
Yep.
And they don't need to be hidden. Do you know what I mean? It's all the fear and all those different things, because they're just little. They're not deal breakers. But we're so afraid that they will be. Can you think of one off the top of your head? I'm trying to think now, because I had massive awareness of this a few days ago, and I had kind of in a flash saw all the little tiny little things that you've told me over the years that I could feel inside were bullshit. That sounded harsh, but do you know what I mean?
Oh, believe me, I do.
When you hear that little white lie,
Uh-huh.
I get that little twinge
Yeah.
of like, there was something about that didn't look right.
Yeah.
But if you look again, you're like, it's nothing. It's in my head.
Yeah.
That's how subtle it is.
Is that how subtle it is? Because usually I'm like,
okay, well,
we're going to find this.
we're not all 10th degree witches, Stephanie, okay? Some of us are still trying to learn. I'm like, I get a little whiff in the air. I don't even know if it's real or not. I can't think of one.
You're damn right you can't.
I know
I can't
have
think
a
of
bunch
one.
of them.
Well, that's not being on the spot part.
Oh, yeah.
You know, think of something. It's gone now.
Because I had a couple the other day. It's so silly, too, because they're always like silly stuff. I would hide food from you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But not like in the sense, like I didn't have a bottom drawer full of candy bars or something.
Yeah.
But I would, like if I'd run down to the store and get groceries, I would get some sort of sugary snacky treat that I would eat on the way home before I get home, right?
Yeah.
And it's the silliest little thing. And this isn't even something that I like would lie to you about. Because if you'd have asked me, and I didn't do it all the time, because there was plenty of times where I would bring home sugary, snacky, sweet stuff, right? But even on those occasions, I almost always would take something for myself, like eclairs or maybe just a little candy bar this time, or you know what, I'm doing good this time, so I'm going to get some beef jerky because that's way better for you than chocolate. And in my head, I would like have to justify it.
Is that why you hit it?
Yeah, it's weird.
Justify having a treat.
And so it was almost like this obstinance thing of, I deserve this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get it. I've earned it in some sense. Like, look at how hard I've labored to drive down to the store. But
sometimes that's a labor.
it is hard. I'm just realizing that there's this little twinge of that obstinance around it, that it's something that I am ashamed of doing because it feels like I'm doing something in opposition to.
Okay.
Let's move on to a different topic.
Okay. Oh my gosh. You've heard of Brandy talk about Lilith Fair?
I'm sorry, Brandy
Carlisle.
The one and only?
The one and only.
Okay.
I mean, you haven't in person, but she's talked about the importance of Lilith Fair. And
Baby, we had coffee this morning.
Okay.
She was totally talking about Lilith Fair.
Yeah. So like that's a thing.
It's a huge thing for her, right? When it came around. Yeah.
What do you know about Lilith Fair?
I know a lot about Lilith Fair.
Okay.
It happened during our lifetime. Not too long ago. There was this woman named Lilith.
Okay. There was actually, but that's not this conversation.
She put a band of roving lesbians together and she traveled the country playing music. So
the Lilith Fair is woman artist supporting. So
yes.
Sarah McLaughlin. I got the wrong McLaughlin in my head. McLaughlin.
That's good. Sarah McLaughlin.
Her.
Yes.
She put it on. So she was like pulling in artists and like, there was like people that would go on tour, but they couldn't go on tour with another female artist because they said it wouldn't bring tickets. And so everything was, and she was like, no, let's show them that we can put on this thing with just women. Seats. So, it's her, it's Sheryl Crow and Jewel and Fiona Apple and a bunch. So they all show up and this thing is this huge deal. And so Brandy talks about how she was at the Gorge watching that and how impactful it was for her. And it's like, oh, I totally see that.
Did you go to Lilith Fair?
Oh my God. That would have been amazing.
They came to Utah.
Yeah. I did not No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't know what it was. That's what it is. That's not what I thought it was.
What did you think it was?
I'm getting to that.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
I'm so dumb.
No.
I need to really pep talk myself later because I was like, this was so significant. Like I'm sharing it because it's changed. Like when I realized what this actually was, I started crying, and then I could, like, they've got it recorded on YouTube so you can watch, and they're talking about it. But it was like I can just imagine at that time what that would feel like. And just even now, just when all these women are like, so it's this beautiful thing. There's also a singer called Lilith Fair.
Yeah.
So I've never heard of Lilith Fair. I've heard of Lilith Fair.
Oh.
And my brain heard the same thing. And so I'm like, I don't remember like Lilith Fair being that impactful. That's what got Brandi Carlile going. I mean, she's great, but holy shit, that's the inspiration for Brandi Carlile. And then you even talked about the gorgeous Lilith Fair, and I thought Lilith Fair's going to be there. Cool. There was a song, I think. I'm like, I think I was watching some like interview with Brandi, and or was it in the book? Oh, it was in the book. It was her book. At the end, because she talked about Lilith Fair then too. It was an interview. It was something. It wasn't the book. Anyways. I just didn't see it. And then I had it broke down. I'm like, this is like, wait, what? And then I was Googling it, trying to prove it, because I'm like, Lilith Fair, that's some festival. That's not it. Lilith Fair, where is she? That's a festival. That's cool, but that's not it.
You even Googled it?
I Googled it.
To Google?
Yes, I'm like, Google's getting it wrong.
Every time I type this in, it gives me the same damn picture.
Like, am I spelling like only one L?
Barbara,
2 L's? Like,
get in here. This Google's giving me wrong answers.
And then I was like, holy shit, this is Lilith Fair. Oh. And then it all made sense of like little Brandi Carlile on that grass, and like her whole world changed. I'm like, now that fits.
Yes. Now
Lilith Fair. I mean, so that was my little nugget of like, wow.
If you're listening to this episode at this exact moment in time, you should go to Instagram and look at the meme that I created.
Did you just create one?
In my head, soon to be online. I was today's years old when I found out that Liz Fair and Lilith Fair were not the same thing.
God damn it.
I can't wait to create it.
Yeah.
We're going to pause. I'll be back. That's cute, babe. There's so many things like that.
There really are.
Yeah, there's so many things.
I'm special.
Chris Fletcher.
Yes.
2 episodes ago, whatever, 277, when he was talking about the church, and when he was, going through and talked about every week going up and bearing his testimony, it triggered, I remembered.
Did you just say burying his testimony?
So that's the story. Okay. In the Mormon church, every week they have a period of time where people can choose to, if they want, come up front and bear their testimony in a sense of sharing whatever it is that you'd like to share with the congregation, right?
Of why this church is true.
Correct. Whatever revelation you've had over the course of the week or the month or whatever it is, and you can get up there and explain and share and show. And as a child, we had to do talks, like you were almost forced I always felt forced to get up there and give this little speech about why this church is true, and that was bearing your testimony. Hold on. What? Go ahead.
Burying your testimony?
Hold on.
Okay.
As a child, I thought it was bury.
That's what I'm hearing you say.
Put something in the ground, bury. So every single fucking week, when I would hear it, because there's, I know this church is true, blah, 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 there's this whole spiel that you say, And part of the spiel is burying my testimony. So every time somebody would say it, which you'd hear it multiple times, I would envision somebody like digging up and burying some sort of like book or something.
They had a...
And it never made sense to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are we...
I love
this concept makes no sense to me. Why are we saying these things?
We're burying our testimony.
That are coming from our hearts, and then we're burying these? I didn't get it at all. It confused the fuck out of me for a very, 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 very long time, until I was an adult.
Oh, goodness.
And then put together that it was like,
what sounds right here?
It probably was when I was... Do you remember Mormon in the Meth Head?
Yes.
I think that's when it was, actually.
Oh, yeah?
And that was only like 4 years ago or something.
Wow. Yeah, that wasn't long ago.
Because I think I remember Aaron talking about, and do you know what I mean? And then for whatever reason, that was just the moment when the verbiage hit me. And I was like, oh, they're not burying things.
Exposing.
Yeah. I was way off on that one.
Oh.
Everybody's
that is
got
adorable.
Those.
I do. Do you remember, like, my
Shaking
whole
a
life,
baby?
I sang Shaking a Baby Now.
Shaking a baby, twist and shout, twist and shout.
And it never, like, I got the intent that you were like, shaken. So because I got the intent, the words didn't click that this was wrong.
Did you not visualize?
I did not visualize. I visualized dancing.
Okay.
I visualized dancing. That's what I saw every time. And it wasn't until, like, you said something that reminded me of the song lyrics, and I was going to text you it.
Texted?
I texted.
Down
and
in Texas?
I wrote, shaking a baby now. And then my eyes were like, huh? Like, that's not right. What are the Googles or what are the lyrics? And the first thing I Googled was shaking a baby. And I'm like, no. And then I was like, I meant to say, what are the lyrics? I went to Google to find the lyrics.
What are the Googles?
I hear that.
Barbara, get in here.
So it took me forever to find the lyrics because I did not have them right. So I was like twist and shout, and then finally like, oh God, shake it up, baby now. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's mine.
Clear communication, folks.
Right.
So important. So important. Have we talked about Desperado yet?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't think
I know
have.
we have, but I don't know if we have recorded a conversation about Desperado.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Recently, when we got nominated for Parent of the Year, we watched Desperado with our 15-year-old sweetheart downstairs.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
There's a part in the middle that is...
Hold on. Don't spoil the middle part.
Okay.
Not apparently. I knew that was my favorite part.
But you forgot about it.
I did not forget about it.
You knew that was going to come on?
Oh, yeah. I just said that's my favorite part of the whole movie. But what I forgot was how intense it is.
Oh, okay, so you knew it was just going to be like a whoop?
I thought it was just a flash of
Not
her
a
tits. Yeah. Not like a 3 to 4 minute, possibly 5 minute long sex scene.
It wasn't that long, but God, it felt like it.
With Antonio fucking Banderas and Selma Hayek when they're both in their prime. Not to say that you're out of your prime, either of you.
Oh, yeah.
I love you both. And
I have a favorite of the two.
It was steamy. It's my favorite as well.
Yes, we have the same favorite.
Yes. I couldn't. Yeah, it was amazing.
It was awkward
as fuck.
And then we're frozen. We're like, let it be over. Let it be over. It'll just be a second. Let it be over. And then it hit the point, and we're like, and you're started to reach in for your.
Well, you're like, I think it's time we fast forward by like the third BDSM scene.
We're like, this is bad. This is bad.
So I started to try to fast forward. You know, back in the day, you could throw the fucking remote at the TV, or you could do all sorts of things.
Your phone wasn't working, so now there's panic.
Now you're like trying to get the fucking thing open, and
I'm not making eye contact. I'm like, Jesus, we gotta make it stop. Make it stop.
It was terrible.
Almost jumped out the front window.
Good times. So I wanted to watch that movie because I liked it growing up. And I was laughing throughout the movie, not because of the uncomfortable sex scene, but I was just having awareness of how much I related to Antonio Banderas. And back when that movie came out, I was in I think I was a freshman in high school, probably 8th grade, maybe 9th grade. And maybe it came out over the course of the summer between 8th and 9th grade. We'll say that. That makes for a better scene. I watch it. I love it for multiple reasons, right? Some of which are named Selma.
It was like guns, Selma,
No. Selma. And then everything else. Okay. Big impact on me. I just loved the movie, obviously, for so many different reasons. And then as we were watching it recently, just having awareness of how much I mirrored that in my life, in a sense, because it was funny. I just had the awareness of that. I feel super silly right now.
Aww.
Yeah, I feel super awkward.
Do you want me to go get your case?
My case?
Your guitar case.
What's it? It's a good guitar. Yeah.
You're not silly. I think you're adorable.
Do you know why I knew so much of the dialogue?
Because you watched it so many times.
Yes, I watched the movie a lot.
Yeah.
But I also had the soundtrack. And I listened to the soundtrack a lot. And the soundtrack has a lot of dialogue in it.
Oh.
Kind of like they do with Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs. Same thing.
Okay. That makes sense. I'm like, man, I've got memories. I've got movies I have memorized too. It's getting incredibly difficult to talk. My period is definitely on the way. She's going to be here soon because my mouth is like, I'm twisting everything.
Twisting it all up.
Twist and shout.
Shaking a baby now.
So yeah, it'll be fine.
It will be fine. I think we'll get through it. Last thing.
What do you got? Make that.
This episode. Oh, the last thing. Yeah, actually, we're going to wrap.
Okay.
The last thing. Beginning of the year, we say we're going to do 2 episodes a week. It's going great. We're doing 2 episodes a week. Sounds like people are enjoying them. I'm enjoying them, and we're having a lot of fun. Currently, we've been releasing episodes on Monday and Wednesday, and moving forward, it'll be Monday and Thursday. So if that completely rocks your world and you won't be able to manage, give me a call. Like, I'll totally send you the episode on Wednesday so that you can listen to it. But
on Wednesday?
I'll just give it to them. Like,
yeah,
here's the little MP3 file. You can listen to it. And then the episode will come out on Thursday. So if it really bothers you, let me know. And we'll get it to you on Wednesday. But for all you other regular motherfuckers, it's coming out on Thursday. We have so much to talk about, but we got to go. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Here we go back to regular podcast voice. Go follow us on Instagram. Also, the Clips channel is blowing up. We have 20 subscribers on it right now. But we have like 800,000 clips on there. All of our shorts that we post, all of the reels that we post on Instagram, we also throw up on that Clips channel. So if you aren't following us or you don't like Instagram and you're not on Instagram and you want to go watch some of the fun reels that we create, you can go do that on the Clips channel. All that's in our link on the... Wow, my brain just lost it all.
Website? Instagram?
Sure. It's easy to fucking find on Instagram.
Okay.
It's easy.
There you go.
It's everywhere. Call me. I'll shoot it to you. We'll see you guys next week.